Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to another first impressions video with me, Strong K. And I want to take a look at Deponia today. Although this game is a little bit dated, like it has been out for a while on Steam. It was recently on one of the Indie Gala bundles, where you could pick it up for cheap. Um, and the reason I'm doing this is actually I wanted to do a video on Deponia 2, or Chaos on Deponia, I think it is called. And then I figured, well, since it's the second part of a series, of a, I think, possible trilogy, it would make all the sense in the world to actually take a look at the first part. So that's what I did. I started it, and then I was like, yeah, what the hell, I might as well do like a video on that one as well. For those of you interested in that kind of stuff, to give you like sort of like the background information, because well, actually, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but it actually helps to have like some knowledge of Deponia, if only to compare it like to Chaos on Deponia, and to see whether or not this game can actually stand on its own 2 feet. The second part, that is, or if you definitely should have played the first part or whatsoever. So might as well do the video on the first Deponia. So yeah, Deponia, it's like classic point and click adventure stuff here. Let's just hit continue. Actually, I've actually finished this game, so I can actually do like a proper review of this if I wanted to. Maybe I'm gonna explain this into a little more detail, because like if you've like followed my videos so far, I got kind of like a knack for point and click adventures, like adventure games in general. I like a good narrative in my game, and at least in my books, this is like adventure games are a prime example of like how to convey narratives and such. So this is the interface. It's like nothing really surprising. I mean, the thing is, you can immediately tell by what you see here on the screen. This is actually the first part of the second act. The first act is sort of like a prelude, which is also playable in the demo. There's a demo out for Deponia. So if you play that, yeah, he's rocking out. You can just like play, like if you finish the demo, that would like this scene would be the next point if you actually purchase the game. So I think that's like not giving away too much, but also something new for those of you who've already played it and still not sure, because the demo was actually weaker than the game itself. But let's get started with like some like gameplay mechanics and that kind of stuff. Pretty straightforward. Like they've been making this game for like the last 20 years. You know what I mean. So there shouldn't be any surprises here. So left click is
Locked. Huh. It can probably be opened from the inside.
right. It's like interact. Right click is look, which we can't do here. Let's take.
Lobo is looking for a new hammock. Well, that makes sense. The old one wasn't fireproof.
Right, and so the rightmost button, when you see like this eye icon there, you can examine stuff. Oh, just like the
You
bullets.
have to be age 6 or older to use this device. Oh, how boring is that?
And let's try to use it.
Toro! Hey, I said Toro! Anything, he seems even more bored now.
All right. So, yeah. The inventory is actually kind of neat. I mean, the game gives you a choice in the beginning, like of what to do. You can either choose like a classical, like move the cursor up here, or I can just use my mouse wheel. Boom, and there you go. Nothing in there as of now, but that's gonna change in the not too distant future. So that's kind of neat. And this is what I have to say. Like in general, this game plays like it's very old school. Let's just go through here. It's very old school. In that, yeah, it's like a... Okay. I'll let him finish talking here.
I haven't seen such a crowd in front of the town hall since the mayor wanted to introduce a tax for the lack of political commitment.
Right. Um... So it plays pretty comfortable, really, because you know, it's like this thing here works. You can pretty much skip every little itty bit of like dialogue, cutscenes, and like in a very comfortable way. Like, you know, you just skip parts of it. Like, let's try to go to the water reservoir real quick, and then, whoa, I just pressed escape too quickly there. Okay, let's go back here. This is not what I wanted to demonstrate, really. Okay, village center. So, you know, like this small piece of like movement animation. Double clicking obviously lets you switch scenes or locations faster, and that's pretty much it. Like the maybe I should
Shouldn't we be maintaining the sewer system and removing trash landslides? Gah, lazy bum.
right show how the dialogue works. But this is again
Oh, hey,
Rufus?
exactly.
pretty straightforward stuff. So Hannick, why aren't you
Why
working?
Working.
You mean, why am I doing just the same as you? Because some joker removed the magnets from the detonation plan, that's why.
Hey, I am very busy, actually. I've been running around all day, getting things done, and picking stuff up, and things like that.
Well, how about you find some new magnets for our detonation plan? Then we can finally continue work.
How exactly does that detonation plan of yours work?
Well, that's pretty exciting, actually.
Yeah, I doubt it.
The chief detonator uses magnets to mark the positions of the next 3 planned detonations. Then he rings a bell, and I give a signal to the miner who will on his part prepare the explosives in the mine shaft. And after that, we blow the thing up.
And then you start with the exciting part?
No. That's it, actually.
Yeah, I knew it. What exactly are you guys doing down there?
What do you think? We are trash hunters. We search for useful trash. Most of the time, trash is just junk, and so pretty useless. For instance, I have a whole collection of car keys for cars that have been scrapped ages ago.
Maybe you have my key, too.
I don't know. What was your name again?
All right. Yeah, those are all characters from the game. This Rufus obviously us. Wenzel is sort of like a pal of Rufus's. I don't know. And Tony is like the Rufus's ex-lover here. Let's just click Rufus.
Let me think. Rufus. Nope. I don't think I got your key.
Okay. Yeah. Just like forget it
Forget it.
because
Done. Anything else?
right. Oh yeah, and the parrot.
Is that your parrot?
Yes, we use it to detect dangerous fumes in the mine shaft.
Oh, what do you do when that happens?
We get a new parrot.
I see.
Badum tish. Yeah. So let's talk to this guy later.
Talk to you later.
See you,
Rufus?
exactly.
Okay, yeah, this is going to be the build-up for a joke here that he's keeping. It's like he keeps forgetting names. So yeah, this is pretty straightforward. So it's actually a good example. It wasn't planned. So you know, he gave us like the ins and outs of the like detonation plan,
This is a map of the trash.
how that
I
works.
better ask Hannah.
Yeah,
Knows
well,
all
you just
words.
did. And then you have the blast signal here. Let's ring the bell.
Hey, why aren't you working?
Because some joker removed the magnets from the detonation plan. That's why.
All right, so you know, he just basically said in the dialogue early on that we should get some new magnets. So you know, you can figure out what you do. So this is like, you know, pretty forward stuff here, like straightforward things. All of which is going to be important, like the car keys. Remember in the first scene we saw the car, so he probably has the keys for that, so we got to like figure out who the owner of the car was. Then the detonation plan is going to be useful, you know, to our purposes here. You know, and then the parrot also is kind of...
Nice parrot.
Yes, we use it to detect dangerous fumes in the mine shaft.
Oh, what do you do when that happens?
We get a new parrot.
yeah. So, I mean, it's like, you know, gameplay wise, it's not really. If this is really what I mean by, they have been making the same game for like a long time now, which is all variations on like basically like a Monkey Island sort of plot, or like the whole LucasArts, Lucasfilm games, point and click adventure sort of thing, which is kind of, you can see like this is kind of wacky. This is not not too serious. Graphics are sort of like comic style. We have like this slacker type of character here, who's like, sort of like a goof off. He doesn't work. He just gets in everybody's way, and yeah, sort of kind of like that. I don't know. And then it's supposed to be funny, but to be honest, it's okay. Like it doesn't bother me. They have like some pretty cool gags in there, but most of the humor is just like
Hello. Hello. Hello.
not really.
Starving. I've eaten nothing but worms for days now.
Ignore him. My wife sometimes talks to herself when she's down there. He must have picked that up from her.
We can't meet anymore. Although my husband is almost deaf, his bird has quite good ears.
Yeah, it's like half decent. I don't know. So it's like a parrot. What do you expect? Is this going to be like a puzzle device later on? Let me just spoil that much. Let's not visit the bar. Let's go back to the village center, because I would have kind of like introduce you to the whole plot of the game, which is basically like as you can see, this is a huge trash heap, sort of like a Wall-E scenario, maybe. Like the Earth's surface has like become a huge like a landfill, like a dump, basically. And the thing is, like, this game was developed in Germany, which is like a safe haven, or like a, yeah, this is like this is the only country, the only market where point and click adventures refuse to die. Which is, for people like me, it's a good thing, because if you like them, they keep them coming. So and just to mention that Deponia actually resembles the German word Deponie, which translates as like a landfill, or like a trash dump. So that makes sense. And also this place, like the town, is called Kuvaq, I think, which is a portmanteau of like quarantine and evacuation, or to evacuate maybe. So it gives you like an overall feel of what kind of world this all takes place in. So it's not serious at all, but it sort of. So this is why I compared this to Wall-E. It sort of deals with like a serious subject matter. I mean, not to the extent that it's not like preaching to you about like recycling and all that stuff, but you can easily see what's going on here. They all live, in trash, in their own filth. Or actually not their own, but everybody else's. So probably ours, because we're just trashing the planet right now. But be that as it may, this is just used as a backdrop. It doesn't really carry like a political or whatsoever like environmental message. And what has actually happened before I enter town hall, just to explain real quickly, we have actually tried to get off this dump, like by building a like a harebrained contraption, and that hasn't really worked out. So we're like back in the in our old town yet, and yeah, but we did manage to save a girl from a place which is called Elysium, which is like a city in the sky, I guess. Well, the thing is, the game never really explains, or like there's some holes in the game's universe, or like the whole backstory of the thing that sort of are not apparent necessarily. So I'm just assuming like Elysium is a better place, as insinuated by the name, Elysium, whatever. And the girl's unconscious now. It's like you rescued her from the Organon, which is like a, your antagonists basically in this whole thing. Who are in cahoots with a guy named Cletus, who looks exactly like you, like Rufus, and who's also supposedly from Elysium. It's a pretty convoluted plot that is not really explained in the end. Like, the plan is actually to board this Organon cruiser by like attaching, like shooting a pod at one of those things. They travel on like rails and stuff, and then by attaching yourself to that thing, get to Elysium, and that has failed, obviously. So now we're in love. Like this girl has become a love interest. Yada yada yada.
Please form a line, people.
waiting...
Draw a waiting number, and the mayor will see you in a short while.
What's going on here? Did someone refill the peanut jar?
A girl fell from the sky. They say she's a real beauty. The mayor is about to decide who's going to give her shelter.
Yeah? Well, I doubt he'll have a hard time to decide once he's heard my story. I saved that girl from the dark exchequer. I am responsible for her.
Nice try, buddy. But I've made up a good story, too. Mine even has a dragon in it. So move to the back of the line and draw a number like everyone else.
Yeah, alright, so this is basically it. Like, now they decide who gets the girl, and we have to draw a number here to see.
Number 66. Almost my lucky number.
Cool. Oh, those are magnets. Remember? We gotta get magnets.
Boards are great. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I'd still have to search for magnets in trash heaps.
Right. So yeah, let's talk to those guys here, Gonzo Lobo and Mysek.
The mayor wants to decide what? Who will what? Give her shelter.
Low-Tech thinks the girl should be, integrated into our community. And someone has to nurse her back to health. I hope the mayor will choose me. She could give me a hand in the mud pits. Ever since I cut my fingertips while scrubbing rust, I tend to get infected cuticles.
You want her to scrub rust for you? That's outrageous.
Why? What do you want the girl for? Rufus? Rufus!
Huh? Oh, what? The girl belongs to me.
That'll be determined by the mayor.
Right, how do I get to see the
mayor?
guy?
That's easy. Take a number and stand at the end of the line.
Yeah.
Can you let me cut in? See, I'm in a bit of a hurry, and...
I see. Well, if that's the case... Do you want my chair? Shall we get you something to drink while you're waiting? We could bake a cake for you, too.
Really? I like cactus cake, but no raisins. Thanks very much. And... Oh. I see. Crap. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, this is sort of like the humor in the game. I mean, it's like half decent.
Really? Let me go first.
Listen, Rufus. A minute ago, that was a nice little joke. But now, it's half annoying. And half sad.
Right.
Where's the girl now?
She's lying in the assembly hall. Dr. Gizmo is with her. They say she's unconscious.
I hope she isn't injured.
So do I. So do I. It's not easy stacking exhaust pipes with broken arms.
Okay.
Nice hats. Did I miss a trend or something?
The roofer switched to making hats, because it hasn't rained for months.
I see. And I'm sure the trousers are from the guy who used to make tarps, right?
Hey, my wife made them for me.
Well, thanks for nothing.
Right, so what about those trousers? Yeah, and then he'll skedaddle.
I'll skedaddle.
He likes the word skedaddle, actually. He uses it a lot. Let's talk to Lottie here, real quick, who's...
Needs a good soul.
Is like, oh, I'm sorry. He's like a, you know, it's like a guy who pretends to be a, I don't know. It's like a drag or something.
What a day.
I'm not really sure if that is supposed to be a joke or...
Where's the girl from Elysium?
Princess Sugar...
Yeah, Princess Sugar Bottom? Oh, she's lying around in the assembly hall. Of course, I knew you came because of her. That's always the same. Always the same. A beautiful young girl in a tight jumpsuit falls from the sky heavily injured. And immediately, everyone's falling over themselves to help her. Hussy. Hussy!
I want to see the mayor.
Everyone...
Everyone does. Take a number and wait your turn.
Can you make an exception and let me in before the others?
It's your turn when you...
The number comes up!
No exceptions.
Not even for me?
Especially not for you!
Okay.
But the line isn't moving at all. Who's next anyway?
Number 62. I think that's Wenzel.
Wenzel is also applying? But Wenzel isn't even here.
Well, it's his turn. Wenzel is up next.
No exceptions!
Okay.
I officially want to deregister my residence here on Deponia.
Although a lot of people will be glad to hear that. Me, for instance.
That won't be possible today!
The mayor is pretty busy at the moment.
I'll skedaddle.
Don't let the door hit you.
Alright. Yeah, that's sort of like the... you know, this is like the humor that you'll get along a lot, you know, as you play along. That's probably what I wanted to say here. Yeah, so, I don't know. Let's check out the girl. You know, just to get like the plot going here.
Goal! I have to talk to her. She's got to know who her savior is.
Yeah, her name is Goal, by the way. So yeah, you know, this is what I mean. He's like walking up there, so I'm gonna hit escape. So that's very comfortable, I think.
Do you have to snoop around here?
Hi, Inspector Gizmo.
That's Dr. Gizmo. As you know, I hold all 3 positions in this emergency station. And right now, I'm a doctor. And as a doctor, I have the right to ask, why are you bothering my patient?
She's an acquaintance of mine. I wanted to see how she's doing. Her name is Gold.
So, the Elysium is an acquaintance of yours, eh? Very funny. Well, as long as your lacking sense of reality doesn't keep me from doing my job, knock yourself out. Look after your acquaintance, but make it snappy.
Yeah, I'm gonna let this cutscene play, just to like illustrate how the cutscenes work in this game, because I think they're like nicely done. It's like nothing too spectacular, but it's okay. Like, you know, like the presentation overall is okay for a game like that. Like, they don't overdo it with cutscenes, but you know, they have them where they're appropriate, so it's okay.
That's enough.
What? Come on.
Enough daydreaming for today. My patient needs rest. Well, at least I guess that she needs rest. In order to know for sure, she would have to wake up first.
She's unconscious. What's wrong with her? What does she need?
To be more conscious, obviously. For further tests, she would have to be awake. Unfortunately, none of my remedies seem to work.
Well, how about some really strong coffee?
Ha! The coffee that can be of help here needs to be brewed.
Doesn't every coffee need to be brewed?
Yes, right, but
Hey, not to worry, Dr. Gizmo. I have a plan.
do the world a favor and spare us your plans, Rufus. Your wacky plans have never done anyone any good, except that the mayor granted me a larger file cabinet for patients' histories.
Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna like skip this real quick. I mean, or not pursue this any further. Let's go back. This is like also the other thing that, you know, in terms of, I mean, the gameplay or like the presentation is pretty neat actually. Like I said, you know, it has like, it plays comfortably. It has, you know, like cutscenes that tie in like with the game graphics, which sort of like everything reminds me actually of Futurama. I don't know, because like also the music, if you can listen, it sounds a lot like the you know, the theme, like the Futurama theme, the opening tune. You know, if you know what I mean. This is like the bells and everything. Also like the graphical style, like this comic style, is sort of like a Matt Groening type of thing here. You know, with like those bulbous eyes and everything. So so yeah, how does the game play? I mean, like basically you saw the thing. Like, you know, the riddles are pretty straightforward. Like sometimes you have like riddles where or puzzles where, you know, like I had to just like think a little bit because there's stuff is not obvious to you. So let's actually try this. Like, we have the magnets now, which is a good chance to demonstrate what I mean. And obviously we like combine it with the detonation plan, because this is what we were asked to do basically. Okay, so how this works was explained to us. We have those magnets, and then we can just place them like anywhere here on the map. So let's do that. Actually, I don't know, let's place one here, and actually, I don't know, place one here, let's see what happens. So, and this is like all the information that you'll get concerning this puzzle. So, you know, I'm not like deliberately keeping anything from you. Let's hit the blast signal.
Oh, the blast signal. Take cover! Imminent blast!
Alright. And then, like, if we go outside, we can see that, you know, the places that we marked on the map actually now have alarms raised. So, you know, that's sort of like the thing here. And I'm going to also give you the solution to the puzzle because it's pretty hard to figure out. So maybe I'm doing you guys a favor here because I had to look this up actually because it didn't make a lot of sense. Or I didn't make the necessary connection here. Because I thought like, okay, you have to like form a line or like get some people out of their houses because this is what you expect, you know, would happen here. But no such luck. So what you actually have to do, like remember those guys that cut in line? Or they didn't cut in line, but you know, they're ahead of us in the waiting line. And remember their hats look like roofs because the what was it? The thatcher or the roofer actually made hats now. So then you know you have to memorize it. Okay, this one hat looked like this roof, the other one looked like that, and the last one I think was this one here. And then when we hit the blast signal, and let's just skip that. Okay, now these alarms are raised. And that will actually cause the guys to disappear. And that's the whole thing. Because, you know, like, remember this Lottie character told us that your friend Wenzel was not here in order to, like, get the line moving. And I thought, okay, you have to get this guy here somehow. Well, that is obviously not the case. So if you pick up the waiting...
One, but I guess the 63 will have to do.
Exactly. So I think he's gonna come out of here like sooner or later actually. So yeah, that's like actually I mean the puzzles are like so. There's a lot of stuff in there that's that is not so obvious to like you know the naked eye, should I say. Like this is one of those examples. I really had a hard time. It's like maybe if you're like a super duper like point and click adventure crack, you'll be like, hey dude, this is pretty obvious to me, you know. But to me it wasn't, and I gotta say, like, you know, I have played, like, my fair share of adventure games, and I know it's hard to come up with new puzzles, you know, as you go along, because like I said, they keep making the same games for, like, 20 years now, so eventually you're gonna run out of clever puzzles, I guess. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that is actually like that. You know, for example, like you saw, we have to find a, like a coffee, or like a certain... I don't know, potion to wake up that girl, and then obviously you have to go ingredient hunting, and yeah, some of the stuff is not really that obvious. I mean, you can like walk around and ask people and they're gonna give you clues, but you know, it's like, I mean, for the most part, like I would say 90% of the puzzles are pretty much like, you know what you have to do, or you can find that out by simply like randomly combining inventory items. That actually makes sense to me. It's like not just like super random, but like be like, you know, go on a hunch and be like, hey, that could work or that could work or whatever. Let's go actually to Wenzel's house.
He'll be flabbergasted when he hears about my newest adventure. I bet he'll be pretty disgruntled because he decided not to come with me. He'll start shaking and get crying fits. Why am I not as cool and daring as you, Rufus?
It's like this kind of cheesy, I don't know.
But deep down in his heart, he knows that he just isn't cut out for this. He'll get seriously depressed. Oh boy, I really hope he's home. Wenzel!
Hey, Rufus. Back already? That was really fast this time.
Yeah. This time, I almost made it. Unfortunately, like so often, my human kindness got in my own way.
Of course. That darn human kindness of yours. It's always getting into your way, right?
Indeed.
You never get anything done anymore.
Well, there are just too many humans.
They should all be
drowned in the Red Rust Sea. Exactly.
that darn human kindness. By the way, thanks for all your stuff.
What? Wait, isn't that my chest?
Well, you said I could have your stuff if your plan works out.
But...
And your plan did work out. You just said so yourself, didn't you?
Yes, but...
Well, that's settled then.
Alright, so I'm gonna
Exactly.
cut this short here because yeah, that's like the thing. This is actually also exemplifying what I don't really like about like the character design of this game. See, like Rufus is like the slacker type of guy that you're used to, like support as opposed to like transport like sympathy, and we should feel like connected to this guy. But at the same time, he's supposed to be like this egotistical kind of dude who only does, what benefits him. Um, I actually like this effect here that, it's like this is like a whole room that is then split up into. You can only see like the portion you're in actually, which is nice. Like I think this is what the game does really well. Like it mixes things up. Like this is like with the locations and stuff, there's like multiple sorts of puzzles in there. It's not always the same. It's not always combine stuff in your inventory or combine it with the environment and so on and so forth. There is actually some change to it, which is cool. Like they mix it up. That's a good thing. That's like a solid adventure game sort of thing. They also have mini games. It's like logic puzzles or logical puzzles in there, which I really hate. And there's like a lot of them. Let me show you what I mean real quick. Like you have a puzzle like this where you have to. This is actually very early in the game where you have to like move around the this crosshair here, and it doesn't really work. Reset button, I'm not really sure. Luckily you can skip all those mini games, so that's really cool. Like if you don't want to play that, you can just hit skip without, I think, any ramifications. So yeah, this is how it works actually. And then you have to like navigate through there. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of annoying. I'm not really sure. Well, that's that, but there's like also other stuff. Yeah, like this minigame, for example, where you have to assemble like a mosaic or like a puzzle here. Yeah, that's that. And then you get this kind of stuff where you actually have to assemble various spare parts. Although technically speaking, this is not like a logical puzzle because you get hints. This is like a dialogue puzzle or sort of like a, I don't know, like you get hints here.
You can attach a screw bushing to a spherical body, but never a clamp bushing to a cubical one.
And then you have to like eliminate, what works and what actually doesn't work, and by doing so, you can attach the right parts to the right corpus here, and that's that. So yeah, but there's a lot of them actually. For example, this one where you have to like, set some like switches here, and then you have to get to the exit with this little card of yours. And this I actually like the least. I absolutely dislike that one. Well, actually, this is the one that I disliked the most because it was not really clear what the game wanted me to do here. Like with the one before, yeah, it was pretty obvious that you had to like hit the exit. But this one is sort of totally yeah, you have to like really take into like it doesn't. This is the information that you get basically to solve it. You get like a little more because you have to pick like the right carrier pigeon here, but it's very 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 shady. I don't know. So I was really happy that like I said, you could just really easily.
Maybe this helps.
Okay. So yeah, that's the thing. Huh. So what do I think of the game? Well, I mean, as you probably guessed by now, yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend it to everybody. I think if you are really into point-and-click adventures, then I would pick it up definitely. Or if you're like into adventure games, because what it does, like it entertains you nicely. It's not super long. Puzzles are okay. There are some tough nuts. Mainly just because it's not really clear what you're supposed to do, and that's like a like a negative thing, obviously. I mean, and that's okay, but for the most part, this is pretty standard point-and-click adventure fare. What I really didn't like character-wise, the story is sort of convoluted. It's never really explained what it is that you need to do at certain points. Let's go to Tony's house. Let's go back to our house, actually. What you need to do, like, it's kind of like, yeah, nebulous. Like, the whole plot really doesn't make sense. Again, that may be because they're planning, like, on, like, releasing a second part. They actually have released a second part and a third part, so maybe then it's going to make more sense. I'm not really sure. But, so far, there are also some obvious holes, like plot holes, even if you want to use that word in this context here. That's like because I could explain them, but that would obviously spoil some of the fun, so I'm not going to do that. But for all those of you who actually finished this game, you'll notice some like discrepancies, and you know what I'm gonna, or what I'm talking about actually, what I'm hinting at actually. Like, what I also don't like is that, as you have heard from this dog gizmo type of guy, that, Rufus is such a, like, malicious type of guy, very egotistical, and that feels kind of tacked on, because, this you only learn basically by, or through conversations. People, like, throw this stuff at you and be like, hey, you're such a, it's like selfish guy, blah, blah, blah. And then sometimes we have to do stuff that actually sort of, carries this notion, and actually lets you do stuff that is actually selfish, or like that, harms others. You destroy property or steal stuff, obviously. But that feels kind of tacked on, because, like, to me that always feels like, oh, you just have to do this because, this guy is so selfish, and so on and so forth. So that is kind of like, character-wise, and then he turns out to be the good guy in the end. He has a heart. Yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, it's nothing really out of the ordinary. Like, stick to your guns is what I would say, like, to the designers. Also, like, puzzle-wise, don't like, it's a nice touch actually that you can like, omit that, like, just skip through the puzzles to the mini games. It actually, like, in the credits they have like 6 designers for those mini games, which I find amazing. Yeah. So if you're like an adventure nut and you really like this kind of stuff, play it. It's nice enough. Like, it is well executed. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It's nothing that will like swipe you off your feet and be like, wow, I never saw this coming. This is like the next step in adventure game evolution. It's not. It's very solid, very comfortable, like, footwork, if that makes any sense. Like, it's like the game, like, it makes a promise that it keeps. It's not more, but it's also not less. Which is a good thing. If you're like new to point and click adventures and you want to give it a shot, this is actually maybe something that you may want to try, because it's not that bad. I mean, the humor is kind of, it's not really that funny. I don't know. Maybe it's a translation, or I have no clue, but it definitely could be funnier. It's by no means like a Monkey Island, which was hilarious, at least to me, like, back in the day. Or like a Day of the Tentacle and that kind of stuff. But it's like, it's cool enough. Like, it's also not super annoying. Like, at some points you're like, yeah, I get it. Come on. Was that really necessary, type of thing? But yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to like walk around here and like accidentally spoil more of the game. So I'm gonna walk into the alley here. Yeah, so for everybody else, I don't know. This is like, if you're not really into adventure games, this game won't make you like adventure games anymore. So, I would stay clear in that case. Right. So, yeah, that was it actually from me. Yeah, it was a little long-winded here at the end, but I hope you enjoyed this video nevertheless. Everything is going to be in the description as always. If you, yeah, you'll stay tuned. You will see my video in the second part, Chaos on Deponia, which I have not yet played. I just started it, and but it's like very, very fresh into that. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little video of mine. If so, as always, I appreciate all form of comment, critique, whatever on my videos. And I would like to thank you for watching, and I also hope to see you soon. Alright, thanks a lot and bye.